Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Becoming series. This is the podcast, the YouTube channel where I share personal development books with you, books that can support you on your journey of becoming a millionaire. So, the book I'm reading is this one, .com Secrets by the man himself, Russell Brunson. Yay! So, today we're looking at the topic of how do you become the person who attracts your dream customers? And the simple answer is that you have to be an attractive person, an attractive character. So, this is secret number 4 in this book, becoming the attractive character. So Russell begins this chapter by talking about the usual type of people who tend to buy his products and services. But then he gives a story of something different that happened. He said, before him and his wife started having children, they were having difficulties starting a family. So they had to see a fertility doctor and they ended up getting pregnant with twins. And then he remembers speaking at an event, and for some reason, he felt that he should share that story, that backstory. So, what he did is that he shared that story, and he was hesitant, he was nervous because it was intimate, it was a personal story. But of course, he felt he should share it. So, he shared it and then he tied it back to his presentation. Then he made his offer as he normally does, and he said, this time round, something different happened. At the back of the room, he saw the usual type of athletes who normally do buy his coaching packages. But this time, he said he saw wives, mothers, and families buying his products too. And he thought to himself, how very interesting. I shared something about my family, and suddenly there's a new segment of the audience attracted to that part of my attractive character. Okay. So all of us as entrepreneurs, we have a character and there's different components and aspects of us. So the way you attract your dream customers is basically deciding which part of your attractive character are you going to share, because different people will be attracted to different parts of our character. So, in this example, Russell shared intimate things about his family and their struggle of having their first child or children. And by him sharing that story, he was able to attract families, he was able to attract wives and mothers. Okay. So Russell says that the attractive character is the thing that binds people to your value ladder. And if you've been following, you know that the value ladder is basically an axis. On the vertical side is the price. On the horizontal is on sorry yeah on the vertical is the price, and on the horizontal is the value. Okay, so the more, or I think it's the other way around. I think it's value at the on the vertical and then price on the horizontal. So the more value you give, the higher the price is. Okay, so every business has to have a value ladder. So what Russell is saying is that the thing that binds people to your value ladder is the attractive character, your attractive character. He says people may come in looking for a result, but they stay because of their relationship with you. So people stay because of their relationship with you. So when it comes to the attractive character, there are different elements of the attractive character. The first element is their backstory. Every attractive character has a backstory and they share it often. Russell had a backstory. He had a backstory about him and his wife with their struggle to have a child and or their first children, and he shared that story. That was his backstory. Russell says that people won't care about any of the success you've had, and they won't follow you or your advice until they know that you've been where they are now. People care about, has this person been where I am now? Because if they've never been there, they're not likely to take me out of where I am. Okay, so that's the first thing, your backstory. The second thing that Russell says, and second element of an attractive character, is that they speak in parables. He says the best teachers in the world teach in parables, regardless of your religious beliefs. He says, if you've read the New Testament, then you've seen how the greatest teacher of all time, Jesus Christ, taught almost everything during his ministry in parables. Indeed, Jesus did teach everything in parables. And Russell says, as you're reading this book, or if you follow me anywhere else online, he says, you'll notice that I try to teach every concept with some type of parable or small story to help my ideas and concepts stick in your mind. The whole purpose of a parable is to share a story that helps people to understand what you're referring to. If you just speak in theory, it doesn't, people can't really connect. But if you can share something and give them an example, then it makes your story sticks. So he's saying that the attractive person always speaks in parables. And the third element is that attractive characters share their character flaws. So he says this next element is one that most people really struggle with sharing, but it's one of the most important ones to share because it makes you relatable and real. There's no point in painting the picture that you're perfect or that I'm perfect in our character. Okay, so our character, we all have different character traits. For example, sometimes I'm a bit impatient. That's a character trait. If you speak to my husband, he will share so many others. All right, we all have character traits, or not only character traits, but character flaws. And what Russell is saying is that the attractive person must not be afraid to share their character flaws. All right, because it makes you relatable and it makes you seem real. And then the fourth element, he says, is that the attractive characters harness the power of polarity. So he says another challenge people face when communicating with an audience is trying not to offend anyone. And I know I'm a lot like that. Sometimes I don't, not even sometimes, my personality is that I try to be a people pleaser. But he says, so instead of being a relatable person, speakers become bland and stay neutral on many topics, only sharing safe things everyone will love. But there's a problem with that, Russell says. He says, while that sounds like the logical thing to do, appeasing everyone, the problem is that being neutral is boring. And of course, it's boring. He says, when attractive characters try to win the votes of everyone, they end up reaching no one. So the best thing is to actually know your stand, know what you stand for, and stand on it. He says, instead, attractive characters are typically very polarizing. They share their opinions on hard matters and they stick to their guns no matter how many people disagree with them. Okay. So it's not just about trying to please everybody. It's about, do you have certain views? Do you have certain opinions? If so, share them. And in sharing it, you're going to attract people to you, but you're going to polarize others. Okay. So don't be afraid to share your opinions. And he says, if nobody's talking about you, then nobody knows who you are. It's time to step out of that neutral space and start sharing your opinions. Bring the things you care about into the open. And when you bring the things you care about into the open, that's how you become an attractive person to your dream customers. So tomorrow we will look at the attractive character's identity. All right. So I hope that that has been helpful. Just to recap, the four elements of the attractive character. The first is that they share their backstory. The second is that they speak in parables. The third is that they are not afraid to share their character flaws. And the fourth is their polarity. They are not afraid to share their opinions, and in sharing their opinions, polarizing their audience. So that's all for now. Take care and God bless. Bye bye.